fight the police. You see them on television crouching behind barricades, throwing back police canisters, tear gas canisters. I can see them from my hotel window throwing rocks at the police. As I said, they managed to set alight a police van. One of the leaders of the protests in the park went down and spoke to the police and then made an announcement saying that the Wali had promised not to attack the people in Gezi Park and allow the Gezi Park protesters to have a meeting, not with the police, but among themselves. It looks as if the Gezi Park protesters want now to meet and consider what to do next.
Jasper, how much of a difference does this make? I mean, assuming that the police continue to hold the square there, as you say, the protesters are still in the park. Is it just a kind of moving of the barricades, if you like?
Yes, well, Stuart, the park is central to Istanbul's traffic system, much like Trafalgar Square or Place de la République in Paris. And the barricades around the park and square have paralyzed traffic in the center city for the last 10 days. So by clearing the square, they should be able to allow the traffic to flow again. And in principle, the park protesters could stay in the park, and the park would be an island of the resistance, if you like, of the protesters' struggle. But the traffic would be flowing all around it, and it wouldn't harm daily life in Istanbul city.
And Jasper, I asked you this question half an hour ago, but for those viewers who weren't with us at the time, I mean, what does this mean for the protesters? Because on the one hand, the park being stormed there, but also at the same time, the Prime Minister promising that he's going to talk to them.
Yes, I don't believe that the protesters will think that the Prime Minister is sincere. You know, these demonstrations began on May the 28th. The Prime Minister has, up until now, repeatedly refused to negotiate or even talk or even meet with people whom he has dismissed as looters and riffraff. So his offer to meet with them on the day he sends in the force, I think, will be received with a lot of skepticism. It looks as if the Prime Minister is making a gesture to appear humane while he deploys force against the protesters. However, the upshot of what is happening now is that the government's hand is definitely strengthened and the protesters' hand has been weakened because the government has managed to restore control over the main square in the center city.
Jasper, thank you very much. Jasper Mortimer, our correspondent, joining us from overlooking, in fact, Taksim Square there in Istanbul. We'll keep showing those images because here on set with me as well is our international affairs editor, Armin Georgian. I mean, Armin, watching those images and hearing what Erdogan's had to say, I mean, he does seem to be taking the Gezi Park issue seriously now, the Prime Minister.
It's very important what